Hello, friends, fiends, and fellow UB-tubers, and welcome to episode 710 of the Daily Comic and Collectible. Today, the collectible of the day is the Hasbro Toys, Marvel Comics, Marvel Legends Series, Retro Collection, Kraven the Hunter action figure. With serum-powered strength and honed senses that drove him mad, Kraven the Hunter is neither Spider-Man's friend nor foe, but the web-slinger might be his only shot at a cure. This 6-inch scale Marvel Legends series, Retro Collection Kraven the Hunter, was inspired by the 1994 Spider-Man the Animated Series. Marvel fans and collectors can display the ultra-articulated 1/12 scale action figure, featuring opposable head, arms, and legs in their Marvel collection. Kraven the Hunter features a premium design with intricate hand-painted deco, making this a fine addition for collectors. Package includes a Kraven the Hunter action figure and an accessory, his signature spear from the animated series. Package is designed to resemble the retro-style packaging of Toy Biz toys from the 1980s and early 90s, with updated logo and artwork. The figure was released on a blister card package in 2023 by Hasbro Toys. Now, the comic of the day is Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, Volume 1, Issue number 131. This is part 3 of the critically acclaimed Kraven's Last Hunt story arc, with story by J.M. DeMatteis, art by Mike Zeck, and cover by Mike Zeck. This issue is titled Descent. The story opens after Kraven the Hunter has seemingly killed Spider-Man and usurped his identity. As the Spider, Kraven barges in on a gang of crooks engaged in a drug deal and brutally beats them into submission. That's when the police arrive, but when they ask the masked man to stand down, the Spider flees. Thinking that this is Spider-Man, the officers remark how the hero has been on a rampage against crooks all week long. When they check on the crooks, they discover that one of the heroin dealers is dead. Not far away, Kraven finds himself struggling to keep his identity straight. At first, he thinks of himself as the Spider, but then denies this. Ripping off his mask, he shouts his name over the pounding rain, considering himself Spider-Man's superior as he defeated the Wallcrawler and taken his place. Elsewhere in the city, a woman tries to hail a cab, only for it to pass her by. Angry to be left in the pouring rain, the woman decides to walk since her destination is only 10 blocks away. Unfortunately, she's yanked into a nearby alley by the man-monster known as Vermin. After senselessly slaughtering his innocent victim and consuming some of her body, the vicious creature then scurries across the street, hoping to find its foe, Spider-Man and Captain America. Instead, Vermin walks into the path of a squad car. Leaping onto the hood of the car, the Vermin smashes through the windshield and throws the police officer in the passenger seat onto the street. There, he's swarmed by an army of rats, summoned upon the sewers by Vermin. The officer's partner manages to wing Vermin with her gun. However, before the creature can attack, it pauses. This is because the other officer reminds him of his mother. Licking her face, Vermin orders his rats back into the sewer and streaks off into the night rain. Meanwhile, Joe Robertson goes over the newspaper while listening to the evening news. He's suddenly disturbed by a knock at the door. It turns out to be Peter Parker's newlywed wife, Mary Jane, who has come to talk about her husband. She's about ready to tell Joe that Peter is really Spider-Man, but then decides not to tell him after all. She then apologizes for calling so late and promptly leaves. Meanwhile, back at the Kraven'S estate, Kraven torments a rat in a cage with a knife. His fevered mind thinks that there must be one final test out there to prove that he's still superior to Spider-Man, sensing a creature to hunt somewhere in the city. In the sewers below, Vermin looks up to the surface with fear, almost as though he can sense that something dangerous is now stalking him. The creature is correct, as Kraven has decided to go on the hunt that very evening. Later, dressed in a Spider-Man costume, Kraven tracks down Vermin, who's sleeping in the sewers. Seeing what he thinks is his foe, Spider-Man, Vermin begins to panic. Kraven mocks Vermin over his last defeat at Spider-Man's hand. The Vermin points out that he had Captain America to help him last time, and lunges at the masked man. Kraven then mocks Vermin as they battle it out. Vermin savagely lashes out at Kraven, cutting his side and biting his foot. However, Kraven manages to beat the man-monster into unconsciousness. With his foe defeated, Kraven carries Vermin back home with him. Throughout his entire ordeal, spiders have swarmed around the grave where Kraven buried Spider-Man. Suddenly, the wall crawler's hand bursts out of the dirt. His first thoughts are his wife, Mary Jane. This story is continued in The Web of Spider-Man, issue number 32. Geek Fact: this issue is considered a key issue for being part of the Kraven's Last Hunt. This is part 3 of a 6-part miniseries covering 3 Spider-Man titles. Web of Spider-Man, issue number 31 and issue number 32. Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 293 and issue number 294. And Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, issue number 131, and concluding in issue number 132. Bonus Geek Fact: in Kraven's Last Hunt, Kraven embraces his more bestial side and tries to kill Spider-Man so that he can take his place and prove that he's better. Though he doesn't actually kill him, but buries him alive. At the same time, Vermin leaves the sewers and starts eating people in the city. Kraven, dressed as Spider-Man, fights with him to prove that he can beat him without the help of Captain America, who helped the real Spider-Man beat him the first time he faced him. He does win the fight and locks Vermin in a cage. After 2 weeks stuck in a coffin, Spider-Man woke up and found Kraven. Kraven unleashed Vermin, who attacked Spider-Man, but soon ran back into the sewers. Spider-Man hunted him and managed to beat him. Then, Kraven ends up confessing to everything, and finally kills himself. Advertising ad fact. Zitto.
Exits. Pimple's so embarrassing, you'll want to leave the party.
Flipple! A pimple so big, it feels like it covers your entire face. Zittles are new words for the same old bummers, acne pimples. What can you do about them? Launch a major Zixcrag with the unbeatable medicine in Oxy 10. It contains a potent measure of benzoyl peroxide, the very stuff that brought acne medicine out of the Dark Ages. In fact, when it comes to actually killing acne bacteria, there's absolutely nothing stronger that you can buy without a prescription. Next question, how clean can you get your skin? You know all those little embedded blackheads that like to call your nose home? OxyClean softens them up, helps send them floating down the drain. OxyClean medicated pads, cleanser, soap, and scrub lift your dirt and oil so well you can actually prevent new pimples from starting in the first place. So, before your pimples can turn into blipples, get Oxy and get your face ready to face the world.
Oxy!
Because zits are no laughing matter.
Sergei Krakenov is a formidable big game huntsman, better known as Kraven the Hunter. Born from Russian aristocracy, Krakenov became renowned for his exceptional hunting skills, which he honed to fulfill his sense of lost nobility. During his travels across Africa, Kraven pushed his body beyond human limits with a voodoo potion that increased his strength and speed to extraordinary levels. Kraven's hubris led him to seek out formidable adversaries to prove his prowess, coming into conflict numerous times with the superhero Spiderman, a prey that Sergei constantly failed to defeat. Kraven has not been alone in his prideful pursuit to take down the wall crawler, as he has been aided by his equally villainous half-brother, the Chameleon, and the voodoo priestess, Calypso, having also formed part of Dr. Octopus's Sinister Six. Kraven's obsession with Spider-Man spiraled him down a dark path. During what he believed to be his last hunt, Kraven buried Spider-Man alive and briefly took up his mantle in an attempt to prove himself superior. After Spider-Man resurfaced, Kraven committed suicide. The eternal rest of the Hunter was ultimately interrupted by his family, who resurrected him in a botched ritual that left him unable to die, unless by the hand of Spider-Man. Kraven eventually orchestrated one final hunt in an attempt to goad the webslinger into killing him. During this great hunt, Kraven rounded up numerous animal-themed supervillains in Central Park to hunt for sport. Experiencing a change of heart, Sergei impersonated Spider-Man in a deadly battle against his own heir, last son of Kraven. Becoming like the webslinger in spirit, Sergei's suicidal bout proved enough to break his curse, allowing him to die at peace, and leaving the last son to take up his mantle as the new Kraven the Hunter. Well, I'd like to thank you for joining me for another Daily Comic and Collectible, and I hope to see you again Thursday. This is Cut Fan Comics Man, and I'll catch you on the flip.
Baby!
Over and out.